Why is everyone talking about protein all of a sudden? Why are all the vegan influencers showing high protein meals and balanced meals and meal prepping, all different types of protein rich recipes and things like that? In my health journey, I have lost over 80 pounds. And many things contributed to that: sleep, stress reduction, exercise, being in a calorie deficit, probably most importantly, right? But nothing, I'll lean in so you can hear me, nothing changed my body composition specifically more than increasing my protein intake. Hi, I'm Lindsay, and on this channel, I help folks on a health journey eat well for their goals, whether that be body composition related, right? Like gaining and maintaining muscle for longevity in your life, or simply eating and moving with more intention. Wherever your goals are around any of those things, if that sounds good to you, stick around. And how do you do that? Yeah, you hit the subscribe button, right? I'm gonna wait for you to, did you find it? It's right here. It's right here. Yeah, okay, thanks. All right, all right. So why am I talking about protein? Why are all these vegan influencers talking about protein? I just came across Simnett Nutrition's video, What I Eat to Lose Fat and Maintain Muscle. He's had a recent string of videos kind of in the same theme, and kudos to him and other vegan influencers for would feel like to me finally being honest about protein's role in health and improved body composition. I feel like as a vegan of 10 years, I've been around. I've seen a lot of shenanery, a lot of fooligans around protein, a lot of people talking all sorts of nonsense and very little bit of truth about what the totality of research is telling us about protein's role. And so I love that for us to see so many influencers, especially someone like Derek, who I've personally been following for years, and I've loved his journey. And come to think of it, I guess I've kind of been on a similar journey of body recomp. For me, though, as someone who was class 3 obese, I'm coming at it from a different angle, right? He's someone, and many, actually most vegan influencers that you're seeing are kind of lifelong lean. They've seemingly never had issues with weight. Me, on the other hand, I'm not going to give you numbers, but I was big for my frame. I am 5'0". Leave your short person jokes down below. I won't be offended. It's fine. Go ahead, do that. Well, I digress. In any case, there's been like all of this information, misinformation, disinformation about the role of protein in our diets, and specifically how that contributes to your body composition, right? Especially if you're trying to change that. Now, side note, if you are not trying to change your body composition, if you have no care in the world, that sounds negative. If you don't have any goals for changing your body composition, you probably have at least some goals to maintain your body composition, right? At any size, okay? We all want to live longer, but we want to improve our health span, not just our lifespan, right? And what I mean by that is, personally for me, I've seen my elders have issues as they grow older, and I want to try and minimize that for myself as much as I can. That was one of the reasons why I started this health and fitness journey in the first place, right? I don't want to reach the ripe age of 70, for example, and not be able to get up, not be able to climb a flight of stairs without additional assistance, right? If I can prevent that. I want to do what I can to maintain the muscle and mobility and all of that for as long as I can. I'm not afraid of aging. I know there's a lot coming for me. I'm only 39, but, and of course I can't tell the future, right? I mean, I could go outside. Well, let's not talk about unfortunate situations that could happen, I know that time will pass and that my body, there are things that I can do to help protect myself later. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is as a vegan, a lot of times we're told protein's unimportant. As long as you eat enough calories, as long as you are feeling full and satiated, the protein will work itself out. Yeah, for like the minimum recommendations, right? I mean, you're not going to have protein deficiency if you are eating a variety of foods and having enough calories. But I'm not just trying to not be deficient. I'm not eating just to not get sick. I'm eating to live well and be able to move well and move with intention, right? So this is why I'm talking about protein. Now, something that I really wanted to come across in this video is why eating more protein, especially as a vegan, was a game changer for me. I made the switch over to a higher protein vegan diet in the middle of my health journey. So I'm able to say, okay, before that, I was already vegan, right? So the only variable here is, or the only change really is adding the protein. I was already exercising, I was already vegan. I should actually take a step back. So the thing about a vegan diet, right? And I'm speaking specifically just about the diet, or perhaps I should say plant-based, right? Because veganism is this whole thing. It's not just about food. I've spoken a little bit about that on my channel before, but right now I'm talking about just the eating portion of it, right? If you're a vegan, especially if you're not, a so-called junk food vegan, eating like Oreos and chips all day, right? Which is not a bad life. It is not a bad life. It's delicious and it's there for a reason. But if you are eating predominantly or mostly, I would say 70-30, right? If you're eating mostly plants, mostly, minimally processed foods and things like that, you're already at an advantage as far as losing weight, right? Because plant foods just have less calories, right? Now, you might be in a disadvantage if you're trying to gain a lot of muscle and you're starting off from a lean frame already, right? Because you need more energy to produce more mass, right? And yeah, right, you need more energy, so you're going to need a lot more food. And if you're predominantly eating only plants, sweetheart, you're gonna have to add some calories somehow, right? Like, get your peanut butter together, right? Get it, add in a little bit, like it's a little bit of junk will go a long way. Not that peanut butter is junk, but you know what I mean. You might need more calorie dense foods, right? But I'm talking about losing weight. If you're trying to lose weight as a vegan, you're already at I would say a natural advantage, because most vegan foods that are minimally processed have less calories, right? They are less calorie dense. Calorie density, if you understand that, you're at a great advantage as far as the know-how of how to go forth and lose weight. Now, as far as the macro balance, that's where we may be at a disadvantage as vegans, right? So protein, don't yell at me in the comments. Do not yell at me in the, well, actually go ahead, yell at me in the comments. Protein as a vegan, if you are simply and only eating plant foods and very minimally or unprocessed foods, is scarce. There, I said it. I'm being honest. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. I don't know why. It's just a fact. If you are trying to increase your protein, there may be some manipulations that you have to do with your diet. It's very simple. This is the same that would be said to anyone else who's eating an omnivorous diet, a pescatarian diet, a vegetarian diet, what have you. They have other concerns. This is ours, right? If I was coaching a omnivore, I may, who's probably on, the standard American diet, I would tell them, yo, where's the fiber at? Let's eat a salad. Like, what, come on. If I am talking to a vegetarian, I'd be like, we might have a lot of fat and carbs here. We might have a lot of fat, right? Because not a judgment at all, but me, myself, when I was a vegetarian, let me tell you what, every meal had ounces of cheese on it, and every meal also had eggs, like pretty much, right? And so, I mean, these are not horrible foods in and of themselves, but let's just say my body composition was not changing for the better, eating piles of cheese on my white bread. Caffeine break. Okay, so the hell was my point? I digress. I will go back to my bullet points here. So you know, as far as having a calorie deficit, if we lean into the veganity of it all, we're gonna be good as far as, you know, being able to lose weight with the foods that we have, right? Obviously, portions is gonna play a factor into it. It's so obvious I should have had to have mentioned it, but you know, there's going to be people that say, well, you know, if you eat, you know, 10 pounds of rice a day, you're still gonna, yeah, it's the whole point of a calorie deficit is to say that, yes, the amounts of what you're eating, right? But the items themselves are already going to be less calorie dense. We're good to go. Macro balance, like I said, not so much. Why is it that increasing protein will help us out a lot as far as vegans who are trying to improve their body composition? Several things. And it may be a lot of stuff that you've heard before when people are talking about protein. One, it helps you build and maintain muscle. Obviously, exercise is going to be the primary, words are hard right now, primary instigator of muscle gain, right? Exercise is what starts that response of, hey, we need more muscle. But in order to build that, okay, then now you need the actual materials, right? And that's going to be your amino acids. That's going to be your protein, right? And of course, you want a wide variety of that so that you have the bricks that you need to build the building that you're trying to build, right? Another thing that a higher protein diet does is that it helps you, this is a phrase you will hear many times, it helps you feel fuller for longer. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with that phrase because the effect of that is a little bit overstated as far as I'm concerned, but it's true for the most part. And I realized that after switching over to a higher protein diet, my meals did feel more satisfying and I was fuller for a little bit longer. At least, you know, I wasn't food focused for a little bit longer after having said meal, right? Now, that being said, and this could be a whole other video, let me know if you want me to talk more about this specific point at a later date in the comments. But for example, right, if you have a protein shake that is 20, 30, 40 grams of protein in that shake versus a full salad, like a full bowl of salad, what's going to make you feel fuller for longer, right? Like probably the salad, there's more bulk in there, there's more chew, you're taking a longer time to eat it. So there's a lot more that goes into satiety than just protein, right? And so that's why I'm saying that that effect is a little bit overstated. However, when you're looking at in the context of a meal, if your meal that you're actually eating and all of that has more protein versus the same meal without as much protein, you know, calories or even, you'll probably feel a little bit more fuller for longer on the higher protein version of that meal. Okay, the next reason why increasing protein is a game changer is that I've found that focusing on protein-rich foods helps you displace other foods that you're already probably trying to reduce, right? If you're on a calorie deficit, the fact of the matter is you are trying to eat less calories, right? It is. So you know, you're going to have to displace some foods in order to do that. At the same time, it's kind of this weird balance of like not wanting to feel super hungry all the time, getting enough to fuel your activity, right? You still need to eat to fuel your activity, not only like day-to-day life, but also the exercise that you should be doing. Yes, I'm going to keep promoting that. So there is kind of this balance between, you know, eating enough and then, but also eating just under what you need to maintain your current frame, right? Or your current weight, right? That's what we're trying to change here. So if you're focusing on, okay, I know that I need to have this much protein, especially as a vegan, you're going to start rearranging that plate a little bit, right? You're going to have perhaps, let's say it's a tofu and rice type meal with veg on the side. You're going to maybe increase the portion of tofu that you have and then maybe decrease the amount of rice that's there. Again, I already see you keyboard warriors saying rice is a good thing, you know, potatoes are great, da, 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 da. Of course they are. I'm not saying to eliminate them. I'm saying that if you need 2,000 calories in your diet, let's just imagine a person that may need 2,000 calories to achieve a calorie deficit, and you were normally eating 2,500 calories, you're not going to get rid of the tofu. You're going to get rid of a little bit of whatever else, maybe less dressing, maybe less potatoes, maybe less this, that, and the third, right? You are not going to get rid of the protein, and you're certainly not going to get rid of the wide variety of plant foods that are, you know, happen to be lower in calories, but also very high in the micronutrients, right? Your vitamins, your minerals, and then also your fiber, because you need all of that stuff. Another thing that I've found is that it helps maintain bone density and strength. How am I able to say that in my experience? Well, I measured things, right? I am a little bit of a nerd, but I also had access to body scans and the kind of health and fitness journey that I was on. You know, I had log books, I had, you know, different things like that that was telling me that's, and also, you know, just kind of recording my own feelings during the time. I had information on things like how well my strength is maintaining even while being on a calorie deficit, and also my muscle mass and also my bone density. And that's the biggest point, I think. That for me is the biggest point. It supports healthy aging. Like I said, that is the main reason why I started on this health journey. I wanted to make sure that I was supporting my future self as much as I can now. The little, I mean, being on a health journey just pays in dividends, right? You can do a little bit now, a little bit every day, 1%, 1%, 1%, which is going to compound and do a lot of the heavy lifting in my older age. Well, it's never too late to start. And I think at any point, it's going to be beneficial. But starting sooner, just like investing, just like anything else, paying off debt, etc., it's always better to start now, right? If you haven't already. And I implore you to do that. On this channel, I am going to help support those goals for you. That's really what I want to do. I want an army of us women not having osteoporosis. I want an army of us women being able to lift things over our head. No, sir, I don't need you to help me. I got this. I can put this in the overhead by myself, even though I'm 60, even though I'm 75, whatever, I got this. I want an army of women who feel proud about the bodies that they've built, right? I want an army of women who are not worried about what their bodies are going to do as they get older. That's the main thing I want. Well, how specifically do we do that? On this channel, I create simple, balanced meal plans. Simple. And by balanced, I mean lean, high protein dishes that I do show on this channel. So you can go back. Actually, I'll leave some up here that you can check out if you'd like. And I also share tips on maintaining healthy habits so that you can live better for longer. If you want more of that, please make sure to subscribe. And it's right down there. See, now I have to like look at my screen to see where I'm pointing. It might be here. Who knows? Am I gonna get flipped? I don't know. You tell me. It's down here somewhere. You know what else is down there? The like button, okay? And hitting the notification bell. And I'm gonna end there. Until then, peace out. Oh, and I've probably left a video up here for you to watch next, if you don't mind. Bye. This thing is telling me to look here. Why the dot is down there? Because like I think the camera's up here, so I don't. Child. All right.